the Port Alberni Tran-shipping hub. If you live in the Alberni Valley, you've heard a lot about it lately. It's a proposed transfer point for container ships carrying containers to the Port of Vancouver or Seattle-Tacoma and beyond. But it's hard to understand the concept unless you see the proposed location for the shipping hub, and that's where we're heading today, aboard the Harbour Chieftain. Our destination? A 750-hectare map reserve that stretches from Coleman Creek to Spencer Creek on the Alberni Inlet. Both possible sites should the project move ahead. A third, Sarita, a little further down, is also under consideration. And according to our guide, Steve Baxter, who has worked in marine industries around the world, any one of them would be an ideal location.
From a mariner's point, we're about 60 feet off the shore and we still have hundreds of feet of water below us. So for a big draft ship coming in, there's very little infrastructure to put in here. We don't have to build big dock to come out. We can put some smaller dolphins. So very easy for us to put a dock mooring facility here for ships this size.
The proposal is to build a port where large ships can unload containers that will be stored and then barged into their destination port when their connecting transportation is ready for them, saving the ships up to 4 days travel time, saving millions of dollars in warehouse fees, and reducing truck congestion. An idea that pretty much arrived with Port Authority CEO Zoran Kanisevic.
Actually germinated a few years back as we were talking, as we had a luncheon with some colleagues in the industry, and they were talking about transshipping facility on the East Coast in Newfoundland, and I said we could do the same thing here in Port Alberni. So far, from what I've seen, the community is very much on board.
The proposal is being supported by federal, provincial, and municipal governments. And most recently, the Huu-ay-aht First Nation has established a protocol agreement with the Port Authority to collaborate towards this development.
Our idea and strategy was to get involved from the begin-go, because in too many situations we come after the fact. Okay, let's consult with First Nations. So we said let's get it on the ground floor and be part of the planning process and be part of the implementation of at least a strategy.
With big pieces of machinery on it.
Huu-ay-aht has been so proactive and really a pleasure to work with, and I hope it continues, and it doesn't ends there and expands on the other First Nations in the area to work together. And this is too big of a project for a small port authority to push on its own. We need everybody behind us.
But this proposal is still in a very early stage, with the feasibility study scheduled to be completed by March of 2014.
So essentially build a business case saying, okay, it makes sense, and this is how much it's going to cost, and this is what the expected return on investment would be. And at that point, I could go and talk to potential investors, these large terminal operators like DP World, Maersk, and not to miss anybody, but there's a lot of the terminal operators in the world that potentially to look in and investing in something like this, especially if it makes a business sense.
The Port Alberni Tran-shipping hub, if it goes ahead, will be $1 billion investment in the local economy. And that's a pretty big dream for one of Canada's smallest port authorities. And it's a dream that the entire province is watching closely. In Port Alberni, on the Alberni Inlet, I'm Nancy Wilmot.